Pardon me. Jeanette has a truck. Remember we were talking about her truck?
Yeah,
you have a truck, a 1964.
It's I can't remember. It's a 63, 64, or 65. It's right in there. I think it might be a 63.
And what kind?
It's a Chevy, half-ton pickup. And it's really quite that my father and I remade.
Restored. It's
restored.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And it has been sitting in Jeanette's garage for how long?
Well, only for a few years since we sold the farm.
Okay, but where was it? And it was sitting in the farm for how long?
Well, since about 1968.
Okay,
maybe.
so it has been garage kept since 1968. I believe it's rarely driven.
Very rarely driven. That's the only flaw, actually. It should have been driven a little bit more. But
yeah, it hasn't been driven. And it's really gorgeous. It looks like a car that you would see at one of those antique car shows.
Right.
It's perfect. And it's sitting in her garage, and Jeanette does not drive. And Barry has a car and doesn't want to drive a 64 clunker.
Yeah, we haven't driven it since we got it. It's not a clunker.
Well, he doesn't want to drive that. I see what Barry likes.
That,
right. So ever since I saw that 60-something Bronco outside my house, that I was like, oh my God, that is so, I would love to have a car like that. And I'm not really one for cars. And so then I've been just generically mentioning, or generally, not generically, that would be like a prescription kind of pill that doesn't have a name. Anyway, the point is, I said to, Jeanette brought in a photo of it. It's gorgeous.
It surprised, didn't it surprise you when you saw it?
It stunned
really
me.
Beautiful.
It's an orange, bright orange. It's beautiful. I'm like, I want to buy it from you.
The design on those old things with the beautiful rounded fenders and the shape of the cab. It's really if you don't look at the old stuff, you don't realize how bland and the new stuff has been. Just so that it can be.
Yeah.
And everything now. Every car in the world is painted one color. You know what color it is? Fog. All the cars are painted the color of fog.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful orange. I do love it.
Well, so I'm trying to convince her to sell it to me.
I might. I'm going to bring you pictures of the cab, of the inside of the cab.
I mean, I just don't understand. You'd rather have it sit there than somebody enjoy it and love it.
You do understand that I'm not just saying...
You're a hoarder.
No, not that part.
Oh, I do understand
You do understand that I'm not, when I say that I'm seriously considering it, I'm really seriously considering it.
I know, but I don't think that means that you will do it.
I think it might, and you do realize that that's kind of a big thing.
Yeah. No, but I think that you will seriously consider
My father
it. When the bowl broke, you were hysterical for how long?
Well, that's different. It was broken. My father...
Oh, my God, I promise not to break it.
My father really liked you. You know that.
I do know that.
You came up the first time he met you. You go away. He goes, she reminds me of Eleanor Davenport.
I remember that.
And Eleanor Davenport was some opera singer in the distant past of our family, a friend. I don't exactly know. And so he always thought of you as Eleanor Davenport.
Now, it was so funny because I drove Jeanette up to the house once, to the farm. And, you know, she had warned me and told me about her dad for many, many years. And so I had heard lots of stories. And I was a little bit afraid to meet him. But, you know, and then remember I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, that was the bad part.
Right, that was the bad part, is I had driven her all the way from Connecticut, and I'm really not a public peer, but I was in a bad position, and so I said, I really have to go to the bathroom. Do you think I could go into the house? She was like, no. And so he came out, and I met him, and I said, really nice to meet you, and I couldn't stay long because I had to pee. So I literally had to stop, like, at a gas station, which, you know, to me is just a testament in thigh strength and hovering. I just tried to hover over the toilet and perhaps maybe make it. But, yeah, I met him only that one time.
Yeah, but he talked about you, and, you know, he watched the old show every day.
Didn't he call me that Rosie O'Donnell?
Sometimes he called you that Rosie O'Donnell or that Eleanor Davenport.
Yeah.
But I've never told you, but he would, every once in a while, be on the phone, and he'd go, tell Rosie how grateful I am to her.
You didn't tell me that.
Oh, I did. I didn't think I did. And you know, actually, it would kind of annoy me sometimes because I want to go, she didn't do it for you.
Yeah. Maybe I did just to get the car. But Jeanette was telling me today that she remembers putting the wood bed in the flatbed. It's a pickup truck, and putting it in the back and with her father. And then she told me that you removed all the bolts.
We took the fenders and we took the whole freaking car apart. But my father, their fenders, not like, you know, nowadays it's like the fender is sort of all one piece. But in the old days, the fender was something that was bolted on to the side of the pickup truck, and we had to take them off because when you bolt one piece of metal to another piece of metal, where the bolt goes through, inside the threads of the screw, he felt that it might not have been painted, and that could later rust. So we had to take it apart to make sure that there was not one piece of bare metal. There are two small specks of rust on the tailgate.
Well, then forget it. Forget it, Jeanette.
I don't want you to know that. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure, yeah. Does it even run?
Yeah, it does, except there's a fuel pump problem. It was running when we came, and we just haven't had the fuel pump replaced because nobody was driving
Nobody
it.
knows how to use a car or repair a car.
But if you come up, you'll find all kinds of things I've hoarded. Underneath it, I have a whole lot of old boards that I took from the barn. Big, thick, old boards. I don't know what the hell to do with them, but damn it, they're mine.
You really are very close to that show, Hoarders. I'm afraid if I go up there, I might force you to call that show. I might be the one who calls.
Oh, I don't look. It doesn't look like the kind of hoarder.
No, you're very clean. What am I kidding? I was going to say that's such a lie. In your apartment, but ever since Barry, you're very tidy.
Yeah, everything at the house is nice and clean.
You and Jeannie Weenie are very lucky to have found almost gay men to be in love with. I mean, I think that's the perfect guy to fall in love with. Almost gay. Not gay enough to be gay, but really right on the precipice.
Yeah, Barry is very proud of his status as almost gay.
Yeah, because that really makes the house almost always clean.
Yeah, I really like a nice metrosexual man.
Yeah, and you love Howard.
I love Howard. I don't think Howard would do my errands and clean my house, though.
I don't think that's what you want him for.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. We're going to take a break right here on Rosie Radio. Shut up, Jeanette. And we'll be back talking about other... Ricki Lake's coming here today.
Yeah.
I love Ricki Lake. Not only did she do an amazing documentary, The Business of Being Born, she's now helping kids with the obesity epidemic. And, you know, she was a very heavy kid and very heavy for most of her life. And a few years ago, just kicked it into gear. And we're going to talk to her all about that as well. I adore her. I think she's so nice, so lovely, so kind, so smart. And she's got 2 boys, and one of them is like a genius on the guitar, like a prodigy. Like crazily talented.
Wow.
Milo.
Yes, crazily gifted. So we're going to have her here in the second hour, which I'm not telling you what hour that is, again, because we're not allowed to mention the time. This is Sirius Radio, and I am Rosie O'Donnell, and we will be back after this break.
Rosie Radio. Rosie Radio.
We're back, and I thought, boy, this is the most boring show we've ever done because there's no one on the phone. Then we found out the phones are broken because there's never been no one on the phone, has there?
No.
I mean,
No.
ever?
No.
Seriously? Like once?
One other time the phone's broke.
Yeah, that was it.
And that's what it is now. There's broken phones, and so that's why we don't have any callers. I was thinking, wow, people are really mad that I'm talking about this stuff, but no, they don't really care. They're not listening. All right. So while we were talking about cars, Bobby said, "Remember the Saab?" Okay. I bought a Saab when Parker was a baby because I thought, well, this is the safest car, and Bobby and I were living together and raising our son, and it was a very steep driveway.
Yeah, remember that?
And the Saab brakes, for some reason, you would hit the brakes fully and it wouldn't stop. You would still like slowly roll down the hill backwards. It was very frightening. But anyway, after about a month of having the car, I had to return it and get a different car from the same dealership, but I got a Volvo, which was much better for me. And so I remember while I had the Saab, I went to the doctor and I said, you know, I don't know, there's obviously something wrong with me. I probably have a tumor pressing on some sort of nerve because whenever, like, I'm seated or, like, I'm driving, I get a horrible, horrible hot shooting pains in my lower back and legs, like, so hot that it's almost hard for me to... And he's like, really? I said, yeah, and I think I should get an MRI. I should maybe get a full body scan. I don't know, an upper lower GI series. There's something seriously wrong with me. And the doctor said, what kind of car do you have? I said, oh, it's funny. I have a Saab, but I'm going to trade it in for a Volvo because he said, is it the new Saab? I said, yeah, it is. And I'm having some trouble with the brakes. But anyway, what are you going to do about he said, you probably have seat heaters. I said, what? He said, have you tried the seat heater? I said, we're in California. I don't need a seat heater. You might not need it, but they come with seat heaters, and they're probably on. So while you're sitting in the car, I would... Another time, I took my children to the doctor, and I said, I don't know what we can do. This is probably... I don't know how long they're going to be with us, but look at their backs. Both of their backs, they had these design patterns on their backs that looked like, to me, suspicious ringworm. Like the kind of ringworm, like those field crop things.
Suspicious ringworm.
Well, you know when people do the crop circle. They had like crop circles appearing on their back in discoloration. I was like, this is horrible. Not only do they have a disease, but it's like a designer disease, you know. And we took them, and the doctor's like, I've never seen anything like this. I'm like, me either. What do you think we should do? And they're like, I think you should stop getting henna tattoos.
What?
When we were on the cruise the first year, they got a henna tattoo where we were in some port, and like, you know, we had forgotten about it, and a few months later, it had made a little bit of a stain on the back of their baby skin. You know, it was from the henna tattoo that we got when we were in, Aqua SeaWorld in Disney or something. Yeah. And I was convinced do you want to scrape some cells off their back? What do you need to do? Do we need to do do we need to go to a specialist? Should we get spina bifida testing? What should we do? Is there some? Yeah, maybe stop with the henna tattoos. Okay, when you said I was not a hypochondriac, I take it back.
I told
Yeah,
you. Thank
yeah.
God.
A little touch of it. Nothing
I
much.
don't think you should be talking genetics. Anyway, yeah. So my kid Blake was in school yesterday, and he was reading aloud, which he really, really. This is what Timmy writes now. I know that's a joke. When you buy a used car, you ask for Carfax's report to see if the car has been in an accident. It was just accounting humor. That's what Timmy.
Oh, that was
It was a joke. The facts thing. Oh,
That was funny.
really funny, Tim.
No, you know what? It's because
What?
he's an accountant and he has
That's
the
what he said.
advanced math
It
skills
was
that we don't have.
accounting humor. That's what it was.
I'm going with that.
Okay, anyway. So Blakey was in school, and he had to read aloud. And, he's had some challenges with reading and everything. And so the line that he was reading, and the sentence that he's reading was, and so the boy knew his life was his own. And the teacher said, well, do you know what that means? And Blake says, yes, I do. Own the Oprah Winfrey Network. How funny is that? Now, first of all, he's at a Waldorf school where you are not supposed to watch TV
Oh, I
for
forgot.
the media. And there was a time when, at the very beginning, when Blake and Chelsea were there, like where we really didn't do it, where when they didn't know any names of any pop culture, anything. Things have changed a little bit, and so now, but that's what he said. I wanted to, I wrote to Lisa, the woman who runs the Oprah Winfrey Network with Oprah, and I said to her, that's pretty good market saturation. If an 11-year-old at a Waldorf school knows, right, that's what it is. The phones are working, but only the bottom line, which is the secret number for celebrity guests. So is Carney Wilson on the phone again? Is it Ricky Lake calling in? Who's on the phone?
We're just testing it right now.
Oh, you're testing it. Okay, so it's not working. Still, nobody cares about us today. No one's calling in. And I have stuff I have to give away. I've got gifts I have to give away. I think, Deirdre, you just won.
You won a Como e-reader from Borders. It comes with 100 preloaded classics, plus millions of titles to choose from at borders.com/ebooks.
Wow.
I'm kidding.